there was 40 to 60-year-old men who only wanted women your age, how would you feel about those type
I'm not
of men?
surprised. Like that exists.
It exists, but
Just bite the bullet and say sure.
Sure.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question back the other way. If she went out and hit on a bunch of 40-year-old men, is that creepy?
no.
Then shut the
You
You
can't
got nothing. You got nothing.
Okay.
That's the end of it. It literally makes no sense. That doesn't give you the ick. The other
just
thing gives you
because
the
you
ick.
disagree doesn't mean it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
He's a 10 out of 10, but when you go for drinks with him and there's a straw in his drink, he uses the straw.
Here's why you should dump your argumentative girlfriend. See, women have been led to believe that if they're combative, argumentative, that this is what will make a man respect them. And this is completely false. All this will do is make a man run away. And the only men that are going to accept this are men who don't have options with women. We love peace and harmony. We don't like drama. So when you're arguing to get respect from a man, you're actually pushing him away. And if he actually stays, this is a signal that he's a weak man. You want the best out of a man? Bring him peace. Watch how much he's willing to do for you. Watch how far he's willing to go for you. If a man is accepting your argumentative behavior, he's not a man that can do better. And as a man, you should not deal with women who are argumentative. If you want respect from your man, bring him more peace.
Women don't
How are
need
we
to
not
have children.
surviving?
Like, women can go
Why
out and
do
do
we
all the
not need
things
to
that
have
men
children?
do. You don't need to fall into those gender roles
But that's what makes
anymore.
us special. Men can have children. I want to do something they can't do.
Okay, but not every woman wants to have a child, and they shouldn't have to.
I never said they had to.
Okay.
I said
I'm not sure there will be any peace in the near future. In a man's world, there's little to no complaining. We get up, we put on our boots, and handle our assigned jobs to the best of our ability, constantly trying to prove ourselves with merit and respect. When it comes to Western women, there isn't a direction to be found. Not only can they not agree with the traditional system that worked for hundreds of years, but they can't seem to agree amongst themselves. There's a reason you don't see a functioning system solely governed by a group of females. They are utterly incapable of defining what it is that they actually want. If simps can't get their girl to decide which restaurant to go to on a Friday night, what makes anyone think that they're capable of making calls on a larger scale? Before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Anthony Paracella, who said, "A 304 in her 40s is virtually worthless. Too old for kids, been used and discarded by countless guys, full of mental and emotional baggage, etc., but ready to destroy you financially and emotionally. Don't do it, just ignore their BS." You've summed up the message in a proper, concise way. So please, don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always, guys, I'm gonna pick one comment from each video. It could be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that moved me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you could be our next winner. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button too, as it helps out a ton, guys. So now, let's get right back into the video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow.
Take a look at this.
How are women specifically overall, not just one woman individually, how are they oppressed in today's society?
I mean anything.
Can you drive?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to have a credit card?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to buy a house?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to work a job?
Yeah.
Aren't those all the same things that men can do?
No, because men can go out without being catcalled. Men don't have to worry about their safety as much. Men can basically walk around doing whatever the fuck they want, and women have to worry about everything on the goddamn planet.
That's actually not true. What was that statistic that we brought up?
Over 80% of violent crime in the country happens to men.
And who set that system up?
Look up the statistic.
Okay, awesome. I gotta go.
This is a very popular meme lately, the whole, "Oh, I don't see a ring, you can't tell me what to do." I hope this is still fun when you're 60. People generally don't change very much as adults. Most of your growth and change takes place when you are a child. And after college, when you get out in the working world, you kinda stay who you are for a while until retirement, when you have more time to think about your thoughts and self-reflect. So if you're in this age range and you're saying, I don't have a ring, I don't have to change my behavior, just remember, for men, it's not that smart to think that a ring is going to change you. So when you see this meme from now on, remember, bye-bye wedding ring, goodbye marriage. Relationships are built on what partners can offer each other and not on what they say they're going to offer each other later. And going out to the club is a really big minus, for me at least. All the single ladies, all single forever, because they didn't care what we said we wanted.
When you've gone MGTOW, logic always prevails. These thoughts will get run through at the club and then suddenly pretend like a wedding ring is some kind of enchanted piece of jewelry. They try and sell the idea that marriage will suddenly nullify all past behaviors, rendering them an innocent bonnet-wearing country girl that hasn't seen a dick in their entire life. When that belief is challenged with countless stats and figures, they buckle and try claiming men are just insecure. In reality, a place none of these feminists dare to visit, men released from the burden of modern women are the most secure people you'll ever meet. They outline their objectives clearly, and they usually follow the regimented life of a soldier. Their rooms are clean and orderly, and they have plenty of money in the bank for when they're finally ready to settle down. You don't question their motives because they're straightforward and pure. There's an air of certainty that lets you know nothing will get in the way of the long game. Do you see this with women? Of course not. They spend their days buying $10 coffee, half the IKEA catalog, and run out to the club 2 nights a week. They'll date a guy while hiding a few Chads and Tyrones in the DMs, just so they can keep options open. Later, they'll go nuclear and destroy their lives with the typical collateral damage that comes from such a lapse in judgment. Then, without fail, you'll find them crying on TikTok or YouTube about how the patriarchy ruined any chances to achieve true success.
How old are you?
26.
22. How long you been together?
2 years.
If she gave you a guilt-free pass to sleep with anybody, would you take it?
No, sir. You might get one pass, but at the end of the day, you want one wife. And this is the wife I want. So no.
Okay. Now what about you if he gave you one?
If he gave me a guilt-free pass, I would take it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Sorry.
That's crazy.
Who would you take it with?
Lindy Waters III?
Don't even know who that is. That's our problem. Yup.
Who else?
Barry Sanders. I'm in love with him.
Now what do you think those men have over your men?
They're professional athletes.
That's crazy. Hey.
Black or white?
One is Native American and one's black.
But do you think that any of those guys would go for you?
Junior would.
That's crazy. Hey, at the end of the day, it's whatever. Whatever. At the end of the day, I don't care.
Listen to this.
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you.
Why would you want to leave a good guy and why would you give someone that advice? Since when do we not work on relationships anymore? If there's a problem, when do we not speak and talk it out? Why would your first thing be like, yeah, let me just leave?
Why do you still have all these photos? Oh my gosh. In his underwear. Oh, I found the pictures of them in bed together. How was it?
Stressful.
So, why do you keep all those photos of your ex?
A lot of them are just good memories that I really just don't want to delete, to be honest. I don't care.
Seems like you're reminiscing on the past.
To reiterate, the indecisive nature of the Western woman is more than just poor spending. It's morphed into a philosophy that infects every facet of their daily lives. In biology, we're taught that perhaps the primary value of the female is choice. We see birds flash in their colors and nests, or spiders dancing for a fatal mating ritual. The parallel is then drawn to humans. We're taught that women in our half of the world are designed to determine value. And yet, in the light of the evidence, that cannot be further from the truth. At least not anymore. Neuroplasticity is something that has allowed mankind to do amazing things, but now we've seen enough of what happens when a parasitic ideology takes the reins. Feminism has all but destroyed the female ability to choose, and with it, any reason to respect them. With Tinder apps, clubbing, and hoflation, these 304s can't stick to eating properly, let alone choosing a guy to mate with for life. They've been indoctrinated to never take accountability for their actions from a young age. TV, movies, and virtually all known platforms tell these chicks that they can come back from any decision they make. Do you have a stable marriage? Divorce and you'll still maintain your lifestyle. Are you obese? Well, keep chomping on those burgers, queen, because he doesn't deserve you. Is your multicultural gender studies degree not paying rent? Don't worry, we'll invent a fake job so that you don't feel like you wasted 4 years of your life. For every poor decision women make, there's some kind of institution created to save them. The 304 insurance policy covers all things man-made. According to all of these thoughts, that's basically anything that presents a minor inconvenience. Meanwhile, men work back-breaking jobs around the clock. Occupations that have no amount of GHB or surgery could possibly give them the strength to complete. We take on massive risks, because if we didn't, the entire ecosystem that allows us to be so comfortable would dissolve within days. Is this something you see on the news? Not at all. Instead, you see a bunch of eggless broads clucking on The View, receiving nods from disgruntled employed women ready to cash out on a 5-year union. Men, this is why dating in the West isn't just impossible, but a financial death sentence few recover from. It's why so many approve of the Man Guide message, as well as any other that promotes the ideals of real men making strides to improve. We know in our hearts that investing in the modern woman is no different from investing in a company that makes decisions with a roulette wheel. Except that betting on red still gives you a greater chance of holding on to your money than shaking up with a chick whose body count exceeds the weight limit of a 747. Take a look at this.
I said, do women need men? And you said no. And I said, what would happen to society if we didn't have men? And you said nothing, because we already have everything. So you said nothing would change and society didn't really need men.
That's fine. We can go with that.
You literally said, do we need men? You're like, no. Okay, so if we don't need men, what would happen to society? Oh, nothing. Okay, well then, and we push back. And then you get mad. Whatever, dude.
Yeah. If you weren't doing OnlyFans, how would you earn a 6-figure plus income?
I do
Wait, speak English. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I work at one of the I work at one of the best clubs in Las Vegas.
You seem like you're having trouble with English for a second. What skills do you have that would help you earn a 6-figure plus income at age 28?
You're right, nothing. There's nothing that there's no skills that I have.
Because
you're right.
You're a cocktail server
He's
in
right.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's nothing else that I have to offer.
And she's trying to play it off right now, and that's a strategy. Very nice.
What's the strategy? Tell us.
Please, but the fact is, I live in Las Vegas. I've seen your type. You're currently a cocktail server, which consists of, hey, I'll have a Jack and Coke. Okay. And then you walk away, tell someone else Jack and Coke. They hand you a Jack and Coke. You come back and bring it back to me and hope that I would give you a good tip. That's your skill set.
And what about it?
It's a hard work.
And what about it?
It's a hard work.
And what about it?
Yeah, there is no skill set is the point, which is to say, if I took your brain and placed your brain into a man's body, you would be in poverty.
My dad just decided he's not going to pay for my wedding anymore.
And why should he?
So let me tell you what happened. My parents raised me to be an independent thinker.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's the year 2023. Women are not property anymore, which is why I decided I will be walking myself down the aisle. My parents do not own me, and I'm not some property to be given away.
Lady, you chose your husband, so that point is null and void here.
My dad keeps going back to the point of, we've never treated you as property. Why would you say that?
That's actually a very good point. If you are vegan nuggets, why would you say you are chicken nuggets?
Because the other day he came back to me and said, well, if you want to be independent, then you can pay for it yourself.
This father makes so much sense. I am beginning to think I am her father, because I always make sense.
Which to me still feels like, if you're not going to do your wedding the way I want, then I'm not going to pay for it. And that just doesn't feel right to me.
Well, if it doesn't feel right to you, tell your feelings to pay for the wedding.
Do we agree that my dad's being a complete right now?
No. Are you Delulu? We stand with your father.
Really hoping he comes around, because there's no way I can afford this wedding if he doesn't help me with it.
Beggars trying to be choosers. This world is upside down.
And a choice has become the ultimate issue here. Just a side note, no amount of makeup will trick us into thinking she's anything over a 3. We Bet Her Father is so glad he sent her to college to learn to be an independent woman. There's no doubt that she spent her 4 to 5 years finding any Chad in sight, only to find a soy boy so neutered that he fails to see the writing on the wall. The feminist dream is alive and well in the minds of these Western women, but the whole belief system is shattered as soon as they need to support themselves. It's out of thousands of examples one can pull to highlight the broken compass that is the female mind. They all stand on the shoulders of men who went out to make a living, shaming their male support system the second it doesn't serve their every fleeting desire. Women are filled to the brim with negative emotions. Psychologists have known this for a long time now, even though many progressives try to ignore it. In a world that promotes finding negativity in perfectly normal environments, these chicks conflate every small issue with hostile abuse, damning the very mechanisms that allow them to pretend to be the princess they can never hope to be. A great example of how this manifests would be the space travel crisis triggered by Serena Aughnan Chancellor, a female astronaut who lost her mind before an international space launch. The rocket was meant to return in December, but on August 29, 2018, Mission Ground Control in both Houston and Moscow detected signs of a minute pressure leak that resulted in a small loss of cabin pressure. So what caused it? Well, this crazy broad was so distraught from a failed romantic relationship that she drilled holes into the spacecraft. Yes, you heard that right. One of NASA's Token 304s was so bent out of shape over a lost fling that she endangered her crew while they were traveling through space. The government tried to cover it up, but Eastern European news outlets had already released the well-documented story. We challenge any chick to find a single case where this has happened in an all-male crew. Oh wait, you can't. That's right, because men understand the value of loyalty. Every well-adjusted guy knows that team efforts require compromise and problem solving. There's a reason we didn't entrust women to help us reach the moon, and it's the same thing that proves the classic saying, you can't trust a woman to do a man's job. They're incapable of doing so. It's as simple as that.
Do I got a second to take a break? Okay. Yeah, but we cut it, so they can only see what we. It's not on yet. We're here with Brian, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about Donald Trump.
Wait, hold up. My name is not Brian.
What was your name?
Brianna.
I have like a really bad headache. So this is Sarah Fasha Live, and I'm reporting from Best Buy in Circuit City with Brianna.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm not that drunk.
Hey, listen, you didn't drink at home. No one's gonna respect a drunk, okay?
I'm not drunk.
Hey.
I'm tipsy. There's a big difference.
Hey, relax.
You're not my man. Don't tell me what to do.
Listen,
What is EYS?
last night I was your man, and that's what I told you what to do.
That was just a one-night thing. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, you think a one-night thing is a relationship? I'm not gonna marry you.
I don't want to marry your ass.
Wow.
She had one job.
Yep, they can handle themselves just fine. Again, this points out how women's self-sabotage is a pretty common occurrence. The workplace also acts as a metaphor for the Western female problem in general. It's like handing the keys of a Lambo to a baby. The trust Simps place in these chicks isn't just irresponsible, it's often lethal. Much of the collapse of our market can be attributed to giving thoughts administrative roles in positions where they're terrifyingly unqualified. Our governments let women climb through the ranks of power knowing full well that they haven't dealt with a crisis in their entire lives. They say that weak men create tough times, but they never stop to ask if there's an issue with the opposite sex. In the Western world, one could easily make the argument that men are far from being the cause of the chaos. We're constantly being told that women are leading in college education and corporate employment, that they're making waves in once male-dominated industries. But the vapid bureaucrats praising this progress never seem to highlight the common denominator for everything going wrong in our society today. While men are constantly trying to build a better world, mobs of 304s act like the wild kids on the beach, kicking over the sandcastle at a moment's notice. They have no respect for the civilizations they inhabit because they played no role in how they were created. They just want to take control of a system without knowing what kind of effort led to it being there in the first place. Then, when everything starts to collapse, they simultaneously blame us for the problem and demand that we do something to prevent further damage. We've got news for you, ladies. There's nobody coming in to save you. You created this mess. You thought that spreading your legs on OnlyFans was contributing to the economy. You thought that you could exploit marriage and turn it into a hustle. You thought that if you could take control of the world we made, suddenly we'd be living in a utopian environment. After a century of marching and crying, all you've proven is that you can't even manage to keep the lights on. The modern woman is just another mouth to feed.
You're handsome for
Sure,
one.
you only like
And
me because I'm beautiful.
Just like I'm beautiful.
Yeah, but that's not why I would only like you.
So why would you like me? Because you didn't answer that.
Because you can bring something and add something to my life. But because you're a liability, you can't add anything to my life. You would be a liability to everything in my
So
life.
what can I not add to your life? What is that?
You can't teach me anything. You can't help me with my finances in any way. You can't add any intellectual anything into my life. And it's not because you're not capable. It's just because you're not there yet.
Young.
You're not there yet.
Right.
And if you're not already on that path,
I'm already on it. That's the problem. You don't know enough about me.
you're absolutely right. I don't know enough about you. You said you have Airbnb
Good luck
properties.
with the other girls back there. You're messing up. Oh, next.
And I can tell that you're triggered, and that's okay.
I'm not triggered, sweetheart. You are very handsome.
We can
But-
work through
but
this together.
You
Please
said I
put your
can't
hands
bring
down.
you anything, so it's like,
Right.
there's no need to talk.
You
I
can't
just
bring
said,
anything right
good luck
now.
with the other girls.
Say, okay, and this is why your immaturity will prevent you from being with a real man.
No, I've dealt with real
Because
men
you're not
before.
listening to me, you're trying to talk over
Go
me.
ahead, I'm listening.
Adults have conversations,
I'm listening.
okay? So if we were to get together, you would be asking me questions like, Dr. Elam, what did you do to acquire everything that you acquired? What did you do to learn everything that you learned? What type of habits and skills do you have?
If I knew that dating was going to be this bad, when I was in college and my parents was like, focus on that education, the boys will always be there, don't focus on the boys, get that degree, I would have never gotten that degree. I could have skipped a couple classes, I could have failed a couple classes, and I could have been married, 2 kids by now, working on the 3rd. I can't believe I wasted my good years, my good body, ooh, and the body was bodying back then, so that I can get a high-class education. Just for me to be broke and single?
And there you have it. These women have pushed so hard to take everything men have worked for, only to regret it when they realize they can't turn back time. Men, we've been there at the very beginning. We've made it abundantly clear that we were willing to take on the hard jobs and play our role. We just needed women to fulfill their end of the bargain. Now that we see that it isn't possible, we're walking in the opposite direction with a smile on our faces. We have the tools to take destiny back, and we don't mean the destiny getting railed in a subway parking lot. We're talking about the journey that helps all men reach their full potential, the kind of fulfillment that only comes from rejecting the thought trap and focusing on what makes life truly worth living.
As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.